Hey everyone. So before we go into the 7 secrets which you're gonna need to close your first 5-figure deal, I think first of all, I think the best thing that you guys can understand is just a little bit as to how Mo has helped me, but also Luke grow so much on this journey. And just touching a little bit on me, I'm 19 years old right now. And when I found Mo, I was in a dark place. 17 years old. I'd been in the case system. I'd been taken away from my family. And to be quite frank, I really felt like I'd reached the end of my life. I really felt as if I didn't have much more to live for. And I was this close to giving up. And through Muhammad, he showed me that there was a different way to absolutely everything that I tried before. I tried copywriting, I tried trading, I looked at dropshipping, I looked at all these alternative options so that I could make an income, I could get out of the hellhole I was in, and I could really start to enjoy life. But it was when Muhammad introduced me to this opportunity that it really changed my life forever. So first of all, I did run away for a bit. I'm not gonna lie. Seeing the work, seeing what I had to do, it scared me, and I really didn't feel like I was meant for this. I really felt like I'm completely out of my depth. I'm never meant to be an entrepreneur. I'm surrounded by all these people who, they're doing drugs. They got no goals. They got no imagination. And there's that saying, right, that you're the average of the 5 people that you surround yourself with. And I was becoming one of those. But you know what? I said, screw it. I've literally got nothing to lose at this point. So I kept on pushing forwards and I came back to Muhammad. And that's when things really took a turn. Obviously, I worked with him over a couple of months through this program. And essentially, what he has helped me do now, at literally 19 years old, is I've actually gone and closed my first 5-figure deal. Not only that, I booked a one-way ticket back in March because, like I said, I was sick of the place I was at. It was a hellhole. I booked a one-way ticket in March, and since then, I've been traveling the world. Montenegro, Europe, Asia, Japan, Malaysia, all these places, and I'm free. For once in my life, I wake up in the morning and I'm happy to be awake. I'm excited for the day. I'm excited to connect with my brothers, but also help other people do the same. So that's just a little bit on me, on my journey. Now, look, I'd love for you to take the flow because your story is absolutely beautiful, bro. And yeah, take it away.
Yeah, grateful, man. I'm grateful. I appreciate the honesty with your story there, man. That's beautiful. Yeah, so a little dive into kind of my history of what brought me here and the process that I had to go through to gathering the basic skills to be able to step out was for most of my life I was lost. I was the sheep that was wandering the field with no shepherd, and I got lost in every the flock of every other animal. I got stuck in with the cows, with the pigs, with the chickens, and I was like, I think I found my home. No, these aren't my people. I found my home here. These aren't my people. And it got to a point where I started sleeping with the wolves, and these people were taking me for everything. You know, these were people that were loading me full of Class A drugs. They were feeding me alcohol. They were encouraging this self-deprivating behavior, and they pushed me further down the hole that I started putting myself in. And it took one day of after all of these suicide attempts, of after all of this self hate, self harm, all of this self deprivating words, bullying myself, abusing myself because it's all I knew for a certain period of time. I found Muhammad on a TikTok video and I just said, God, I'm going to do this. I don't know if you're a real big man, but if you are, like, I'm going to sign up to this, and this is going to be the thing that changes me because my life is worth more than
Mm.
just drugs, alcohol, and parties. I was like, it's worth more than this. My house became a drug den. Oof. Now that was a big hitter. I came through and I spoke to Mo and I just said, listen, Mo, I'm just an average guy. Mo, I'm just a guy who is below average. I couldn't even call myself a man. I'm just a boy that wants to do incredible things, and I want to be able to lead other people to a life that's worth living. And the guy immediately was like, yeah, I want you, but we're gonna need to work on you. I could tell it. I could see it in his eyes. It was yes, but we need to work. And I never truly understood or grasped the work that needed to be done. And just like Anthony, I saw all of these people who, at the time, a few of them had their own businesses. They were talking about investing, all of this crap, and I was like, this ain't me. And after about 6 months of Mo being like my personal therapist, I just dipped. I just ignored the guy, and I was like, "Yo, I'll sort this out another time. This is too difficult." And I went ahead and tried drop shipping, and I realized why it was too difficult. And it was a quote that was given to me, and it was that a good thing is not easily earned.
Mm.
And so it made me realize, right, I look back and I'm like, right, I needed to toil the field. I didn't want to work on the field to reap the harvest. I just wanted to have Mo work the field for me, and then me reap the harvest and go, Mo, that was incredible. Do it again. I wanted someone who was working for me, not someone who was working for me. And after this, I went on this journey for all of 2023. I went to my first offline event. I met Mo, met Anthony, met Roy, met these people that I'd been working with and grown with for the first time, and I felt like I actually found my flock. I found the right herd that I should be with. The black sheep was with the black sheep. He was no longer with the wolves. And I think for me personally, just to touch a little bit on my results before we expand on the call as well, is for me, the number one result that I have gained is an increase in faith and understanding faith. And I think that people put it down as a religious thing, but I don't think people understand the broader spectrum what faith is. For me, it's being able to take that next step into the darkness, knowing that there's something there to catch you. That someone is going to catch you when you take that next step. And if you're surrounded by the next brothers, they light that step for you. They become the lamp to your feet. But first, you must take those steps that you don't know what's going to happen next. Is there a bear trap? Is there a pot of gold? Is there a little leprechaun at the end of that rainbow? What is there? You have to learn to take those steps, and that was number one for me. Two, I made my first. I had my first four-figure weekend, and it was funny. I was living in a subsidiary house at Mohammed's in Bradford, and that was where I made my first four figures. Not when I was comfortable, but when I was completely out of my element. And I went traveling for a few months, and I was able to explore Malaysia, and it was beautiful for a time. And from this point onwards, I found my calling. I found God. And I've been on this road since November of exploring really who God is and God's full character in my life to help other people grow with that as well. So that's just my story, a few of my results, and I feel like my character speaks for himself with the words that come out. And so that's just a little bit about me. But what I want to do is I want to introduce you to the guy that allowed this to become what it is. Right now, I'm going to do this without sounding like an MC. This is the guy that's allowed me and Anthony to go from having nothing, from having darkness ahead of us, and that is it. Even if we took a leap of faith, it was straight back into drugs and alcohol. If we took a leap of faith, it was straight back to hospital. And this is the guy that allowed us to break those chains that had been put on our mind generationally. And he's done it for countless others too. And I've seen it. This guy's helped people go from nothing to making 6 figures, making 5 figures, to closing 5-figure deals like it's just breakfast. Like he's just making people are just making their results up. Like it's just happening. And I couldn't be more happy to introduce you guys to the really the one that you want to be listening to. It's great to hear from me and Anthony, but this is the guy that you want to be listening to. So before I hand him over, if you haven't done already, get your notepad and your pen, have them in front of you, and pay full attention, because this is where you're going to get the meat and potato of this entire video. We were just the starter. This guy's the main course and the dessert. So you better be ready to eat you up. Mo, I'd like you to take the stage, my brother.
Thank you. Thank you both, Luke and Anthony, for such an amazing introduction and for sharing your stories so vulnerably and authentically, because we really got to have a window of seeing what's in your heart, but also the transformation and the journey that you have undertaken in order to become who you are right now, which in my eyes is the next up and coming leaders for this entire new generation of entrepreneurs that are looking to succeed online and looking to become great at what they do whilst having an amazing impact on the world, and making a positive contribution. So super grateful for both of you, for the commitment that you've made towards your success, for the work that you put in, for all the hard work, and for the everything that you're going to bring to the rest of the world in the future as well. So thank you, both of you. And my intention now is to actually jump straight into the presentation that I have, which you all, chances are, been waiting for all this time, on the 7 major secrets to be able to land your first 5-figure deal within a period of 12 weeks, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into a screen share. Let me know if you guys can see this real quick for me. And I'm going to dive straight into this presentation that we've prepared for you. So yeah, can we see this?
Yeah, got it.
Amazing. So yeah, 7 major secrets to landing your first 5-figure deal online within 12 weeks, even if you have no product to sell and without doing any of the closing yourself whatsoever. That is what everybody wants, right? Everybody wants to be able to do it without even needing to be the one who's responsible for being the one that's landing the deal. So that's the ultimate secret. But I'm going to dive into this presentation right now. And the first question that everyone's going to be having at the top of their mind is like, who is this guy, right? Everybody's been talking about, who is this guy I've been seeing on the internet? And it's really simple. My name is Mohammed Adam Ali. I'm an ex-athlete. I used to be almost professional within basketball, tennis, and badminton. I'm somebody who is I would class myself as a world-class communicator and a speaker, a master coach that I've been coaching for the last decade, and coaching people from all around the world, whether it be entrepreneurs, athletes. I'm an entrepreneur, so I've been able to build businesses and do so online as well. And I'm a pioneer of digital real estate, something that chances are you've learned a little bit about already from myself, and it's something that I'm very excited about for the future too. Why me? Number one, simple. I've closed multiple 5-figure deals online. I've helped teenagers close 5-figure deals online. So if you're a teenager or older, then that means you can do so as well if they can do it. I genuinely care more than anyone else out there when it comes to your success. So if somebody works with me, just understand that you become family, and I'm going to make sure that you win. I know what I'm talking about. I talk my walk. I don't just talk the talk, right? And how I can help you today. Number one, no gatekeeping, right? I'm not going to hold back on anything in terms of information. I'm going to give you everything that I can when it comes to the 7 major secrets. I'm going to pull back the curtain here and show you all there is to succeed with closing high mind, how it really works with the 7 major secrets to landing your first 5-figure deal. And I'm going to give you a legitimate opportunity by the end of this call, substantial income online, regardless of any prior experience or anything like that, starting from today. I'm going to show you how you can get started out, and also going to provide you with all the right tools and resources to replicate our results. So to start off with, if anyone's seen this movie before, then you know the scene. This is actually from the movie Creed. And in the movie Creed, what happens is there's a a scene where he's in the 9 to 5 still, and he's looking to break out from it. And his dream is to become like his father, the best boxer in the world, which he ends up becoming. But in order for him to become the best boxer in the world, it doesn't just happen like this. There's something that happens in between. And for me, it's really simple. What always happens in these movies, or what always happens in any person's story in life, because what happens in people's stories in life is similar to movies. And what happens is that they get introduced to someone significant in their life that is a mentor. Just like what happened with Luke, just like what happened with Anthony, right? Just like even what happened with me. People get introduced to a significant person in life that is their mentor. So major secret number one is, and you want to write this down, mentors, having the right mentor. So what is a mentor? A mentor is an experienced person in a company or educational institution who trains and counsels new employees or students. And for me, when I was growing up, the only mentors that I really had in my life were my family. And don't get me wrong, like, I'm really grateful for the fact that I've had these mentors. My dad was an exceptional mentor when it came to building discipline. He really disciplined myself, my sisters, to become great in our respective areas when it was, for me, sports, and my sister's academics. My mum, also an amazing mentor, where she taught us how to have more of a consideration for other people and become kind and things like this. But the problem was that both of them had more of a poverty-based mindset. And so that was also something that was instilled and programmed within to me. And so I had to upgrade my mentors. And what I did is I set out by, number one, looking at how I could get mentors for paying the least amount of money. And so what I did is I started to pay £5, £10. Sometimes I'd even get these books for free, downloading a PDF. And I'd have some of the greatest mentors on the planet, the likes of Napoleon Hill, right? The likes of people like Bob Proctor, you know, Tony Robbins, some of the richest people in the world. And I had them in my ear. I had them in these books, and I thought that I cracked the code. But what I realized was that I needed to get closer towards success. I needed to get into proximity with my mentors. And so one of the mentors that I was fortunate to have in proximity was this mentor over here, Balazs W. Cardoso, who's helped thousands of people become millionaires. And I got to experience having conversations with him on a very close basis, to where we're now good friends and we've developed more of a relationship. There's also his mentor, that is Wadia Defesh, who coached him to having hundreds of millions in sales. Wadia has done billions in sales. And I've, again, built a good relationship with him. Now got his phone number. We text each other on a one-to-one basis, and he's in my ear, helping me as one of my future mentors. That's someone that I can, you know, really have helping me on my journey the same way that Rocky had Creed. So the benefits of mentorship really is, number one, and you want to write these down to understand truly why everybody's talking about getting a mentor, right? Number one is it will fast track your success by helping you to learn from the mistakes of that mentor so you can truly implement what works. Number two is that it will save you a lot of money, but also pain, frustration, embarrassment, etc., things like this. Number three is you will be introduced to their network, which was before unreachable. Now, before I move on, I just want to go over a couple of things that I said there. Number one, when it comes to fast tracking your success, you literally get to save so much time by like leveraging what was their mistakes, which is pretty obvious. But I think what some people don't understand is, how can you save a lot of money when you pay for a mentor? Because most of the time when I've had mentorship, I've either had to pay directly for the mentorship, or I've had to pay to get into the room. Sometimes it's just by paying to get into the room that I've had that mentorship, build a relationship with the person, and then they've become my mentor. But the reason for why paying money saved me money is because it saved me money in mistakes that I've made. For example, let's say that I'm doing advertising online and I'm putting down like £5,000 per month for advertising, and I'm only getting 10,000 back. What if I could have been actually getting 100,000 back instead of 10,000, and all I needed was a little bit of correction from this mentor, I would have literally have saved so much money by the fact that I wouldn't have needed to invest my own 5,000 so much. I could have invested more of other people's money. So this is an example of how that works, where you save a lot more money by having a mentor. And that's how you have to start thinking. Like I said, you can be introduced to their network, which was before Unreachable. It allows you to stay humble because you have somebody that is way beyond your level, and you can realize that you're not all there yet. You have a lot more to continue growing within. Keeps you humble. And then finally, you can leverage their skills, offers, and resources to close deals. And so going back to what I was saying right at the beginning of the call, the 7 secrets to be able to close deals, land your first 5-figure deals without having to do any of the closing yourself. Well, if you have a good mentor, then they would be more than willing to close the deals for you, where you can get a cut and they can get a cut, and you can partner on this thing together since they have the expertise to be able to do it. And you would simply do a little bit of the process. And so that's the great thing about having a great mentor. Another thing about mentors, if you think about it, chances are they'll have a lot more of a wide range of offerings or higher quality offerings. So my mentor, for example, is able to charge 10 times more than I can for the same program to 10 times more people, which essentially means that if I can get a cut of that as well, then I'm able to leverage his offer so that I don't have to go and create one myself that's as good quality. I can simply leverage what he's already got. And so this is the great thing about having a mentor, is that you're able to partner with them in different areas, as well as gaining wisdom from them also that will help you in your development. So one thing that I like to describe is what we call your soul mentor. This is the person who is destined to be your mentor, the ideal mentor that you're spiritually compatible with. And the compatibility factors of having a mentor is, number one, you want to write this down. It's what we call proximity. So like I said about my mentorship, was when I was reading these books, I didn't have any proximity. I had the quality, which is the second thing. Quality, and that these people were high level, they had the results that I wanted, and they could give me and teach me all the things that I needed to learn. They had the quality, but I didn't have the proximity. So you need to be able to distinguish what is it that you're looking for in your mentor. Do you need somebody who you can have those close conversations with, somebody you can call, somebody you can FaceTime, somebody who you can actually go and have lunch with, right? Somebody, and that's what I was doing here in this photo. We were having brunch together, me and Balazs. So this is what you get to have with proximity. The third thing is relation. Being able to, whoever is the mentor, you can actually relate with based off of the fact that you have similar interests, similar values, similar ways of seeing things. The more relatability that there is, the more that you and your mentor will enjoy having conversations with one another, will enjoy spending time with one another. And so it won't even feel like the mentor will want to be charging you the same amount that he would if he hated to spend time with you, right? So if you have a positive relation with them, you can actually get a better deal with the mentors too. And then the final thing is availability, meaning you could have the best mentor in the world, but what's the point having that mentor if they're always too busy for you to even pick up the phone and have a quick conversation with you, to check up on you and see how you're getting on, right? That's what you call a good mentor. The mentors that will check up on you when you're down because they know that you're probably going to be reluctant to give them a call. Those are some great mentors, and they'll do that as long as they have that availability, which not all of them do have because they've spread themselves so thin. So these are compatibility factors that you want to be looking for in your mentor. The next major secret, you want to write this down, this is mindset, right? So what is mindset? Mindset is the established set of attitudes held by someone. And Zig Ziglar said, who is one of the greatest closers of all time, it is not your aptitude, but your attitude that determines your altitude, right? It is not your aptitude, meaning your skills and things like that, but your attitude, your mindset that determines how high you go, your altitude. So the attitude that there is to fail, okay? This is going to guarantee that you will never earn money, that you will never make your first 5 figures online. If you want that to be your future, this is how you guarantee it. It's with this attitude. Number one, a know-it-all mindset. You're totally arrogant and there's nothing that will be able to go in because you're fully focused on the fact that you know everything. Number two, sales is manipulation. If you believe that sales is manipulation, you just won't succeed in business, period, because there is no business out there that doesn't have a sales department. Otherwise, they wouldn't be bringing in money. So you can't think like that. It's never going to help you. Number three, money is evil. If you believe money is evil, why would money come to you? It's clearly going to stay away from you if that's how you're going to see it. Number four, there's no nobility in poverty. If you believe that it's better to stay poor, then you will. It's okay to be poor or broke. Again, if that's something that doesn't actually disgust you, when you look at yourself in the mirror and you can see that you've been broke and you've been poor for all this time and you're now like a grown man or a grown woman, if that doesn't disgust you, then you will be fine as you are. You'll be okay. And you won't move, you won't change, you won't make the sacrifices, you'll make the commitments. Any excuse to procrastinate, e.g., for example, money comes to those who wait. If this is your thinking and you just delay taking action because you believe that money comes to those who wait and things like this, good things come to those who wait, then yeah, 100% you're going to fail. You're never going to move. You're never going to take action. You're never going to go at the pace that you require. I'm not comfortable with that, so I won't do it. That will mean that you will always avoid going into your zone of discomfort. And if there's no growth that happens within comfort whatsoever. I need to be good at selling to others to be a good salesman. If that's what you believe, then you're never going to be a good salesman, truly, because that's not the secret. That's not the key. These are the attitudes that there is to actually succeed. Number one, I know nothing. That's what makes you teachable. Number two, ethical sales is persuasion and servitude. It's got nothing to do with manipulation. Because if it's ethical sales, then the people who you're selling to, they want to buy what you're offering. Number three, money is energy. It's not evil. Energy is what you make of it. It can be good, it can be evil, whatever. There's no nobility in poverty. Nobility is in wealth. If you believe that nobility is in wealth, then you will do everything that you can in your power to become wealthy. It's not okay to be poor or broke. It is theft to your soul. Truly, you are not allowing your soul to be expansive as to what it's supposed to be, as we're born as abundant beings. Any excuse to take massive immediate action will help you thrive and succeed. And so if you start believing that money comes to those who take massive immediate action, then you are going to be able to succeed. I'm not comfortable with that, so I must do it. Not I'm going to avoid doing it. I must do it if I'm not comfortable, because that's a growing opportunity. And growth should be at the forefront of what is important for you. And the final thing, it's not I need to be the best at selling to other people to be the best salesman. It's I need to be the best buyer to be the best salesman, right? What we mean by this is that you need to be able to lead by example. So if you are not a good buyer and you don't understand what it means to be a good buyer, then you have to study what it means to be a good buyer so that you can then lead by example when you are helping other people to buy, because that's what closing is. It's about helping other people to make decisions, buying decisions. And so if you can't make a good buying decision yourself, there is no way that you're going to be able to become somebody who is a great salesman. So that is the foundations of the attitude that there is to succeed in being able to close your 5-figure deals. I don't know what happened there. Why is it doing that? Oh yeah, that's the next slide. So this is Daniel G, who I would highly recommend you check out his Instagram, because Daniel G is, as it says, the #1 sales trainer in the world. And for Daniel G, I would highly recommend plugging into his content to check out the mindset. And one of the things that he is always talking about is really becoming such a great buyer and leading by example in how you buy. So I would highly recommend watching some of the stuff that he says and plugging into that. That's one of my recommendations. Major secret number 3 is mastery. Okay, so write this down. Mastery. What is mastery? It's the ability to do something well with little to no conscious resources. Second nature, essentially. That's what mastery is. And so the more you chase money, the harder it is to catch it, right? The more you chase money, the harder it is to catch it. And so instead of chasing money, you have to think, what is it that I have to do? If I'm not going to chase money, how is money going to come to me? And the secret is that you have to understand what makes something magnetic towards money, because money will run towards certain people. But why will it do that? Or what is money actually attracted to? That's another question you could be asking. And so here's a great video that I would highly recommend you watch. It's on YouTube by Myron Golden. You can type in Money Follows Mastery, Myron Golden, and he breaks this down. He really helps you understand what makes a person very magnetic towards money, and there's certain principles you can learn. But one of the things that Malcolm Gladwell says is that the 10,000 hour rules is basically how long it takes to reach a level of mastery. And so this is a study that's being done, and it basically shows that you will be able to reach mastery after this length of time. Give me one sec. So yeah, the 10,000 hour rule is the point to which you're going to reach that level of mastery where money will be following you. Money will run to you. And here's another example I want to give to prove this, is that when you actually look up who was the richest man that ever lived on planet Earth, it says in all of the records that the richest man was actually a guy called King Solomon. Now, some people disagree, and I'm not here to argue about this on the call, but what I'm saying is that King Solomon is known to be, at least, if not the richest man, one of the richest men, whose net worth was equivalent to over 2 trillion US dollars right now. 2 trillion. So yes, he was the richest man back then. And one of the reasons why is he was actually known and had a reputation for being someone that was the wisest man on the planet as well, right? His reputation was for being the wisest man on the planet, which in essence is basically saying that he had reached the highest level of mastery than anybody else on the planet, because there are 4 levels of truth, which I've shown on the left over here, which we call ignorance, knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. The only reason right now that you are not earning what you want to truly earn is only because you are and this is really tough pill to swallow, but if you swallow it, I promise you, it's the beginning stages of your unlocking of financial freedom, which is the only reason you don't have what you want in terms of money is because you're a fool. I know it's a tough pill to swallow, but it's the truth, because you have this ignorance, which is the absence of truth, and the debt that you're paying every single year is what we call an ignorance debt, that is taking away all of the money that truly should be coming in. There is an abundance of money that should be flowing into you, but it's only because of this ignorance that it isn't. And so when you've been able to ascend from being a fool to becoming a student, as you accumulate more truth, right, from the people who actually have the results, the people who are the teachers, the people who are the masters, you start becoming a student and you accumulate the knowledge. The next thing is you become a teacher. You start understanding what's being given to you so you can start acting upon it. And that's where finally you get to master what's been given to you. As you have that wisdom now, you become one of the wisest people on the planet. When you're the wisest person on the planet, you become the richest person on the planet, period. That's how it works. So that's the 4 levels. And so this is one of the reasons for why I believe that mentorship is so much more powerful in proximity, because self-awareness is a key to self-mastery. Self-development is great. And I went on a self-development journey first when I was only reading a lot of books, but now I'm on a self-awareness journey, because what I realized is that by having more self-awareness, I can reach that level of self-mastery. It's so much more important, because self-awareness is our capacity to stand apart from ourselves, really look at ourselves from an outside perspective and examine our thinking, our motives, our history, our scripts, our actions, and our habits and tendencies. If I know where I am, then I can truly turn left and right to go in towards the right direction. Major secret number 4 is marriage. And what is marriage? Marriage is legally recognized union of two people. So what I'm talking about here is I'm not talking about it just being you and another person that you get married to. I'm actually talking about the fact that not just you want to get married to your mentor and be committed to working with them, but also get married to whatever opportunity you're with. You know, don't be the person who's going to go into drop shipping one day, trading the next day, cryptocurrency the next day, and then affiliate marketing the next day. You got to be the person who is just fully committed to one thing for a period of time, right? You got to put a ring on it. So this way, you're not going to struggle whatsoever with what we call the shiny object syndrome, which essentially is picking loads of different things. And you're going to stay locked in 100% on your own opportunity, giving yourself the highest chance of reaching mastery, because you got to give yourself 10,000 hours. And so if it takes 10 years in one thing to reach mastery, imagine if you tried reaching mastery in 10 things. Like, it's going to take you 10 times longer. It's going to take you 100 years to reach mastery, which is why almost nobody does. So if you decide to put a ring on it, you give yourself this unfair advantage over everyone else who's bouncing from venture to venture, blaming the opportunity instead of the person in the mirror and themselves. So the key to longevity is truly commitment, giving yourself that long-term commitment towards your success. And there's 2 types of commitment. You can either make a physical commitment in the form of what I'm going to show you, or a spiritual commitment. Physical commitment could be commitment in time, in money, really important, great commitment devices. You know, in a marriage, it could be through your body, right? That's what happens with sex. There's also public declaration, where you could be giving a commitment in a written form, saying exactly what it is that you're committed towards. That's like a contract as well. But then there are spiritual commitments that you can make. You can make a commitment in the form of a decision. That's very spiritual, but it also is super powerful in how you're committed towards one thing. You can make a commitment when it comes to your sacrifices that you're willing to put up, which shows how much you care about whatever it is. You can make a commitment in the vision and values. You can make a commitment with your belief, right? How much you're going to pour that into one thing. And you can make a commitment with your growth. Every time you keep growing, you're committing more and more towards that one thing. Major secret number 5 is mission. Okay. And what is mission? Mission is an important assignment given to a person or group of people. Now, why I say mission is because, especially when we're talking about money, closing deals, things like this, if you don't have mission, whoops, let's give that away. If you don't have mission and you are fully focused on the money, then your prospects, the people who are going to be what you're sharing and selling. Because in the back of their mind, they're going to be thinking, this person wants my money more than they want me to be happy. And so instead of serving me, they're trying to serve themselves, and I don't trust that in that person. It actually smells like they have what's called commission breath. Okay, so you're not going to make any money with commission breath. And the antidote to commission breath, the toothpaste, is simple focus on the mission, not the commission, right? Focus on the mission, not the commission. That's the key. And Theodore Roosevelt said it best. He said, nobody cares how much you know. So if you know everything about your product, if you know everything about the benefits, nobody gives a shit. Nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. Which is why if you're asking questions to the person, if you're sharing more about yourself and your experience and how that relates to whatever it is they're going through, people can see, wow, this person's going above and beyond in serving me. And so because I know how much they care, I now care how much about what they know. So your mission, you need to make it something that you would fight for. That's the right mission. Okay, something that you would go to war for. Something that even if you made zero money from exerting your time towards it, you'd feel fulfilled because of what you're working towards. And you also want to include what you believe the world needs the most right now. All of this will contribute towards your mission, which you can put in a mission statement in just one single sentence and make sure that you're connected to it. Major secret number 6 is movement. Okay, what is a movement? A movement is a group of people working together to advance their shared political, social, or artistic ideas. So one of the things that is something that you should be aware about when going into business, either online or offline, is that literally 65% of businesses will fail after 10 years, meaning that the odds are way stacked against you. And so if that's the case, you want to be getting into something like a movement, right? Where you give yourself a higher chance and a higher opportunity to succeed because you get to surround yourself with part of that 40%, part of the people who are the minority. And by being in a movement, you get to feel inspired to be a part of something greater than yourself, by the success of others in the group, which is going to keep your belief high. There is a synergy that you get to experience that's far greater than any energy you can have as a single force, as a solopreneur. And you get to collaborate with like minds and coming up with solutions creatively together. You get to also make lifelong connections with people that you can eventually call your family, right? And you get to do business with these people. It's amazing. Then the final thing is the final major secret: motivation. What is motivation? Motivation is a reason or reasons for acting or behaving in a particular way. And the way that I want you to view motivation is that it's the fuel. It's the fuel within your vehicle. And if you have a business, your business is simply a vehicle from where you are right now to where you want to be. You want to start closing 5-figure deals online. Well, whatever opportunity you're going to connect with, then you need to be able to put fuel into it in order for it to go to where it wants to get to. So you can either put in car fuel, right? If your vehicle that you have is a car, but if you're coming in and you're trying to close 5-figure deals or 6-figure deals, like chances are that's not a car. That's a freaking rocket ship. That's something that's going to take you way into the stratosphere of becoming one of the top 1% of earners in the world. So you need to give it rocket fuel. You need to give it something truly powerful. You can't just say that you want to do this for the purpose of having a little bit more money, having a little bit more time. You need to have something that's an emotional, strong why, whether it's your family, whether it's, something that is, like I was describing before, a bigger mission, a cause. Like it has to be something that when you speak about it, you actually feel the emotion behind the words that you're sharing. That's your fuel. So to give an example of great fuel, if you're a mother, if you're a parent, chances are your children are fuel, because when shit hits the fan, you would literally jump in front of a car which would threaten your own life. You'd be willing to sacrifice your life in order to save your child's life. That is what you call fuel, rocket fuel. So that concludes the 7 major secrets to landing your first 5-figure deal online within 12 weeks. Even if you have no product to sell and without doing any of the closing yourself. You need to have the mentors, like I said, so that you can leverage their offers, leverage their products, leverage their expertise. And that way, you don't even need to learn everything that there is to closing. I could give you all the information there is in the world to closing, and I already have on my YouTube channel, you can check it out. I could give you all of that. And in fact, you could even search for closing and sales. I'm telling you, there's loads of books on it. There's loads of videos on it. But you are not going to start closing deals within 12 weeks because that self-development is not the same as self-awareness. You need to have the mindset, like we talked about. The attitude, not your aptitude, will determine your altitude. You need to reach a level of mastery so that you can experience money running towards you rather than you trying to always run towards it and only getting the scrapings, the bottom end of the barrel. When you become magnetic to money, then money will run towards you. Marriage, you want to be able to have that long-term commitment towards your success, mission, so that you can relieve yourself of the commission breath and have some fresh mission-focused breath. Movement, being part of something that's not just a community, but something that's actually productive in terms of a group of people working in synergy. And motivation, making sure that you have that strong why, so that no matter what happens in your career, no matter what happens on day-to-day, whether there's ups and downs, days where you make money, days where you don't, you always continue no matter what, because you have that strong reason why, your motive. So right now, after this is finished, like I promised as well, I wanted to give you an offer so that you could actually get started with an opportunity to start implementing these 7 major secrets so you can close your first 5-figure deal within 12 weeks. And the way that it would work is essentially going from here. All you need to do to claim this offer, this opportunity, is reconnect with whoever invited you to this webinar so that they can help you to create a tailor-made 12-week plan to reach your goals. And if they're not able to help you for whatever reason, then I give you permission to, and right now invite you to also have myself be the person that will help you make this 12-week plan, because at the end of the day, this is important for you to be able to succeed, and we want to help as best as possible. We know what it's been like being in your shoes. You've heard the stories from these guys before. I'm here to help. I'm here to be able to get you to where you want to be. So forewarning as well is that in order to reach success, really understand that you have to pay the price upfront and in full. I never used to understand that when my mentor would say it to me, but it really makes so much sense right now. Your success has a price, whether that be in how much time that you put in effort every single day, every single week. Your success has a price, whether that's in the sacrifices that you have to make of your time with your family, of your relationships with certain people, of the opportunities that you wanted to go into. It has a price, right? Your price might be in the form of money. It might be that you got to invest into yourself. It might be that you got to go and get some equipment. It might be that you've got to go and upgrade your life, upgrade your image. Your success has a price. And so if you want to guarantee your success, then my final word to say is that just be willing to commit to your success. The guys are going to help you create a plan, right? They're going to help you reach your goals. And so just be willing to commit, and there's absolutely nothing that can get in the way of you succeeding. So this has been everything from me today. Thank you so much for hopping on, and hope the next call goes well and you can start implementing these 7 major keys, 7 major secrets to get to that point of landing your first 5-figure deal online within the next 12 weeks. Wish you all the best, and take care.